Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can land one of the hottest jobs in tech right now, the MLOps Engineer. We're talking a clear step-by-step roadmap. So how do you actually get there? I mean, it can feel pretty overwhelming, right? There are so many tools, so many different skills to learn. It's tough to know where to even start. Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to cut through all that noise and give you a super clear, actionable plan. Okay, first things first, let's get on the same page. What even is MLOps? You can think of it like this. It's basically DevOps, but for machine learning. It's all about taking those super reliable, fast practices from software development and applying them to the sometimes messy world of ML. It's the bridge, the thing that gets a cool AI model out of a data scientist's laptop and into a real product that people can actually use. All right, let's get into it. Here's the game plan, a 5-phase roadmap that's gonna guide us through this whole thing. We're starting from the ground up, building our way to the advanced stuff, and then the best part, how to actually land the job. Think of this as your personal career GPS. All right, phase 1, building your tech foundations. Look, you can't build a skyscraper on sand, right? Same idea here. We've got to start with a really solid base, and that means nailing 3 key areas. First up, programming skills. And let's be crystal clear about this. Python is completely non-negotiable. It's the language of machine learning, full stop. But it doesn't stop there. You'll also need to get comfortable with Bash for writing scripts, Git for tracking all your code changes, super important, and APIs for getting all your different software services to talk to each other. This is really your foundational toolkit. Next up, you got to have some math and ML basics down. Now hold on. You don't need a PhD here, okay? But you absolutely have to speak the language. You need to know the basics like supervised versus unsupervised learning, so you understand what kind of system you're actually working with. And this is critical. You have to understand model evaluation metrics, things like accuracy or F1 score. Why? Because you're the one who needs to know if the model is actually working out there in the real world. And that brings us to the tools of the trade, the core ML frameworks. Look, you need to get your hands dirty with the stuff data scientists are using every single day. We're talking about TensorFlow, PyTorch, and definitely scikit-learn. Getting comfortable with these isn't just about knowing them. It's about being able to work side by side with the ML team. Okay, on to phase 2. Mastering the cloud and DevOps. Because here's the thing, modern machine learning doesn't just live on somebody's laptop. No way. It lives in the cloud and it's managed with DevOps principles. This is where the ops in MLOps really comes to life. And I mean, this slide says it all. It's almost like a formula. MLOps literally is DevOps plus ML. So yeah, the cloud isn't optional here. It's absolutely mandatory. You just can't do this job without it, period. So what does that mean for you? It means you've got to pick one of the big cloud providers and really master it. AWS is usually the big one you'll see in job descriptions, but honestly, skills in Azure or GCP are totally valuable too. The key isn't which one you pick, but that you focus on the core services, compute for running your code, storage for all your data, and IAM for security, which is just a fancy way of saying who gets to touch what. Now, let's talk about the essential DevOps tools. Think of these as the engine room of MLOps. Docker is an absolute must-know. It's like putting your code in a neat little box so it runs the same way everywhere. Kubernetes, that's a huge advantage. It's like the conductor of an orchestra managing all those Docker boxes at a massive scale. And then you've got CI/CD, your automation pipeline. This is the magic that lets you build, test, and deploy everything automatically. It's a game changer. Okay. Phase 3, specializing in MLOps tools. So we've got our programming and our DevOps foundations. Now it's time to zoom in on the really specific stuff, the tools that are purpose-built for the unique challenges of the machine learning lifecycle. So just think about the life of a model for a second. It doesn't just appear out of nowhere, right? It starts with a bunch of experiments, then you have to track and version everything. From there, you orchestrate the whole training process. You deploy the final model, and then you have to monitor it constantly to make sure it's not going haywire. That's the MLO's life cycle right there. Now, when you see a list like this, they can be a little intimidating. But here's the key. You do not need to learn every single one of these tools. Don't even try. The smart move is to pick one tool from each category and learn it well. So maybe you pick MLflow for experiment tracking, Airflow for orchestration, Cassier for deployment. You get the idea. This gives you that crucial end-to-end understanding of the entire pipeline. Phase 4, from project to profession. Okay, let's be real. Knowing all the theory is great, but what's going to get you hired? Projects, a solid portfolio of real-world projects. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where you stop learning about MLOps and start doing MLOps. This is how you prove you can walk the walk. And this is your path to getting that job. It's a simple 3-step process. 1, build really solid end-to-end projects. 2, put them all together in a killer GitHub portfolio. And 3, use that portfolio to go out and get actual work experience. It's a super powerful sequence. So what makes a good portfolio project? Well, let me tell you what it's not. It's not just another Jupyter notebook. No, a great MLOps project shows the whole story. I'm talking about training a model, then packaging it up with Docker, deploying that thing to the cloud on AWS, and maybe even building an automated pipeline with tools like MLflow and Airflow. That's what shows an employer you get the entire process. And once you've built these awesome projects, you have to show them off. Seriously, think of your GitHub profile as your new resume. It needs to be polished with clean code, deployment, scripts, everything. And then think of your LinkedIn as your megaphone. You've got to use it, post about what you're building, share diagrams of your architecture, write about the challenges you solved. You have to make your skills visible to everyone. All right, we've made it to the final step, phase 5, landing the role. This is the moment we've been working towards. You've built the skills, you've got the portfolio. Now let's talk about how to cross the finish line and get that job offer. Now here's a really important piece of advice. Your first job might not actually say MLOps Engineer in the title. And you know what? That is totally okay. In fact, it's normal. Aim for these kinds of starting roles, maybe a junior ML engineer or a data engineer or even a DevOps engineer. These are fantastic ways to get your foot in the door, gain experience, and then make the jump to a full MLOps or ML platform engineer role. Think of them as strategic stepping stones. And there you have it. That is the complete roadmap from zero to hired. We started with the foundations, then we moved to DevOps and the cloud. We dove deep into the specific MLOps tools, built a killer portfolio, and finally figured out how to get that first job. It's a clear logical path. So we've laid out the map for you. The path from where you are now to becoming an MLOps engineer is clear. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?